Hi, I'm Bart Hanson. I'm the owner and lead instructor for CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time every Monday. If you enjoy this video, hit that like button, and if you want to submit to be on the show, take a look at the information in the description.
It's a 1-2 no limit hand. I was not involved in the hand at all, but obviously I was at the table, saw everything firsthand. The two players in the hand, so there's a guy in the 2 seat that I would call like a middle-aged, rig, and then there's a very old man in the 8 seat, like he's 70 plus, recreational player.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting in the 9 seat, so I'm directly next to the old man. Since I wasn't in the hand, I wasn't really paying attention to the action until the very end, but then this is where everything kind of goes out the window.
Okay.
So the reg in the 2 seat is first to act on the river. He goes all in for a substantial bet.
Okay.
The old man thinks about it for a few seconds and then calls.
Okay, so you're watching this situation where the first position player moves all in. This is on the river, right? It's irrelevant what the cards are. So this guy moves all in from up front. You're sitting next to this old man, and the old man calls. Okay? So this is what you're looking at. All in and a call.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm. So then the reg in the 2 seat kind of angrily throws his cards down on the table and shows king high.
King high.
No pair.
Okay.
Yep. So he has no pair. He's totally bluffing.
So this guy's made a call. He made a bet. The old man calls him. The guy's got king. King high. He shows it. He shows king high.
Right.
Okay. Yep.
Correct.
On the table. It's table.
So then the old man kind of does that thing where he's like, he's staring at the board. He's staring at the guy's cards. He's looking at his hand. Doesn't really look like he knows what's going on. He then kind of holds his cards out in front of him, like extends his arms out.
Do you remember what the board? Do you remember what the board is? Was there like a one-liner to a straight out there, or was it irrelevant? Basically, it wasn't necessarily relevant.
I'm pretty sure it was irrelevant.
Okay.
It was. I don't exactly remember.
So the guy's tabled king high. The old man who's sitting next to you has his cards up like this. I'm trying to show the camera, right? And you're sitting next to him. And you can see his hand, right? You can see it.
Yeah.
And is it the winning hand? It's the winning hand, I'm assuming? Okay.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Me and the guy in the 7 seat on
the
other side of the only can also click, because we kind of like make eye contact and we're like, what's going on here? Mm-hmm. So the old man then asks the dealer, he goes, what does he have? Asking what the guy has.
Yep.
So all the dealer does is say, king high, no pair.
Okay.
That's what the dealer says.
Okay.
The old man then still is kind of acting confused. Like, I'm not sure if he just didn't hear the dealer or if he didn't understand, but he still does not table his hand. Mm-hmm. So a few more seconds pass, and then finally the guy in the 7 seat says something along the lines of like, just table your hand. You've got him. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then at that point, the guy finally lays his cards down, shows the winner, and then at that point the reg in the 2 seat kind of loses his mind. First he yells at the guy at the 7 seat, saying that, hey, you shouldn't have said anything, like he hadn't tabled his hand, and then he also yelled at the dealer, saying that the dealer shouldn't have told the guy what his hand was, because he goes, well, I tabled my hand. It was clearly visible, like it's up to him to be able to read it.
Yep.
And it was a lot of chaos. They ended up calling the floor over, but the guy got up and left. So I mean, the old man won the pot, but I just kind of wanted to see what you thought. Like, was the guy in the 7 seat like really out of line for saying anything, or?
Well, so this situation does not come up. This is not a common situation in Hold'em. But I can give you a lot of empirical or just my own perspective, because I have a lot of experience in this situation from Omaha High-Low, because it happens a lot in Omaha High-Low. and it happens a lot. I saw it happen several times when I was playing Big O at TCH before the COVID crisis, when I was helping them start the game for 2 weeks. So I went in there maybe 4 hours a day, 4 or 5 times a week, and was playing. It probably happened 5 times in those 2 weeks, because what you get into situations is players that don't realize that they're not supposed to say anything about someone else's hand, because the situation never comes up in Hold'em. You see what I'm saying? It never comes up in Hold'em, but it does come up. So here's what I would say. I'm not sure exactly what the dealer is supposed to say. What I will say is that if I'm playing 75-1, so this is I'm going to assume the dealer is not supposed to say no pair. I don't know to what extent he's supposed to announce the other player's hand. And it can be a little bit different in high-low games, but I can tell you that there's no way in hell the dealer is supposed to, if I call the bet in Omaha high-low, and like the game that I play, which is the 100, 200, or 75-150 at the World Series, if I call a bet and I say, what does the opponent, what does he have over there? Sometimes you can't see it. The dealer can announce what he has, but he can't say no low. That's a big no-no. So I would equate that to saying no pair. Like, people would get after the dealer if he said no low. I don't think there's anything wrong with the dealer actually announcing the hand strength. If the player says, what does he have? I think it's okay that the dealer announces hand strength. Now, in terms of what the player did, it's an absolute no-no. Like, you are absolutely not supposed to say what the guy's hand is. It happens all the time in high-low. I've seen people throw away half the pot because they don't realize that you don't have a low. You're not supposed to say anything. I've also seen people say things, too, because they don't know any better, to not say something. And somebody will get really mad because you're not supposed to say anything. Here's how I handle it. For the most part, when I'm playing high-stakes 08, like at the 100, 200 level, it doesn't happen that often, but it does happen. Most of the time, you have to look at it. Like, say there's a recreational player in the game, maybe they're somewhat new to the game, and they don't know the rule. Yeah. Like, especially if they don't know each other. Like, say, for example, the guy doesn't know that he's not supposed to say anything. Well, he's not going after me personally. He's not trying to fuck me out of the pot by telling the guy next to him that he has the warner. He just doesn't know he's supposed to do that. So what I usually say at the end of the hand is that you're not really supposed to say anything about the guy's hand because he could muck. Not in an abrasive manner. Whereas 90% of the guys will be like, "Fuck you! You're not supposed to say anything. You're not in the hand." At the recreational player, when the recreational player he doesn't even know what's going on. There's no intention for that guy to screw the other guy over. And like I said, this is why people choose poker as a profession, because most poker players are, they don't have what it takes to be like a normal human being or hold a normal job in society, right? And I'm talking about these old crusty fucks. Maybe not, to a lesser extent, more of the Alzheimer's kids that come from online poker. Right. But that's how I would handle it. So if I was seat 7, or excuse me, if I was the guy that lost the hand because the guy next to the old guy said don't table it, I would just say, like, you're not really supposed to do that. To be honest with you, in Hold'em, I might not even say anything because it so infrequently comes up. Like, when is that ever going to happen? That might be the only time in your lifetime that you see it. You know what I mean? In Hold'em, like, it's just one of these things where, and I wouldn't even fault anyone, even a reg. Like, if you're a Hold'em reg and all you've ever played is Hold'em your whole life, you might not even know that you're not supposed to do that. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it comes up so infrequently. Like, you know, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was just gonna say, I think honestly, the guy in the 7 seed, part of it was that, I mean, this guy was like really old, and you could tell that he was having trouble, reading the board, and like he always had to squint and look at it. And so I don't think he was trying to, like, screw the other guy over or anything. I think he just was trying to say, hey, help that guy out, not even thinking, I'm not involved in the hand. Like, what am I doing?
So this guy in the live chat, Sean Fugate, says, I've put many dealers on tip suspension for jacking this up in the same exact situation. Maybe somebody can help me out. Is the dealer not supposed to call out the strength of the hand? I don't know exactly what the rules are, and of course the rules can vary obviously from room to room. I would expect that if the guy said to the dealer, I can't see what he has, what does he have? The dealer can say king high, but he's probably not supposed to say no pair. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely in a high low game, he's not supposed to say no low. He's not supposed to say the guy's got like a pair of kings no low. That for sure is not the case. Um, but I don't know exactly like what's supposed to be said. But no, that's an interesting one. And again, if people are watching this video, yes, the cards have to speak for themselves. And again, this is a situation where, and I feel very very strongly about this, and some people tend to disagree with me because they're like, it's none of your business. You're not in the hand. It goes to showdown etiquette or showdown rules too. Is once the hand is tabled, it is your duty as a player to speak up and right a wrong if the dealer is, say, for example, pushing the pot in the wrong direction. If the cards are tabled and they're face up, and again, this happens quite a bit in Omaha 8 too, and somebody doesn't see a low, and the dealers or somebody misreads the hand, you're supposed to stop the dealer and say, no, this guy's got a low. He gets half the pot. Or that's not right. This guy's got the winning hand. Whereas some jackasses will say, it's none of your business, stay out of the hand, where they're just basically, they're like on a free roll where they see that they've lost part of the pot and they're just not saying anything. But the rule in poker is that once the hand's tabled, that's when it's your duty to actually speak up and say something and make the correct, make sure that the pot is being awarded correctly. Just a quick thing too, there was a situation that happened years ago to me at Commerce. I know I've told this story. We were playing 40-80 during the LAPC, 40-80 at Omaha 8, and this was just this classic guy who's been around LA forever. He's this Chinese guy named George. He's an old man, kind of a grumpy reg, and something happened where we tabled our hands at the end. I should have three-quartered the guy, but the pot got chopped. But the cards were tabled. His hand was tabled, my hand was tabled, and I realized it after they started dealing the next hand. After the pots were chopped, I realized after they started dealing the next hand, I said, wait a minute, I had this. I had 7-6-4-3. I tied the low. I should get three-quarters, right? The cards were tabled. Then the guy next to me is like, yeah, you did have that. Then some other people started to agree with me. The floor guy came over. He said, does everyone agree that this is what he had? Most people did, but the opponent was such an asshole, he wouldn't give me the quarter of the pot that I was owed. They went to the cameras. And once they go to the cameras, I'm like, oh shit, because these cameras are not eye in the sky cameras like at a casino. Like they can barely see anything. They went to the cameras. They came back and they said, yes, you did three-quarter this guy. This guy owes you $100 or $200. The guy still refused to pay it, and they kicked him out of the casino. That's how wow. He knew he was wrong. That's what you got to watch out. Like some of these guys will argue. Yeah. They know they're wrong, but they're sociopathic, psychopathic, whatever you want to do it in poker. They'll still do it. I think the casino actually paid me out. And then, because the guy's, he's been going to casinos for his whole life. I mean, eventually he came back and paid the casino, to be let back in. So, but yeah, that's the whole thing on that. But anyways, I appreciate the call. Thank you very much. If you like what you've seen here, please hit the subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this call-in hand, hit the like button down below. To check out crushlivepoker.com, click on the link in the description. Use the code YTA300 to get the first 30 days for free.